On the night of Tuesday, 25th of November, a 31-year-old man walks out of his gym in Perth, probably thinking about his next workout, maybe what's for dinner. Within moments, police swoop in and arrest him. The next day, they raid his luxury apartment in one of Perth's most expensive suburbs. What they find is staggering. 2 Lamborghinis, designer fashion, over $1 million in luxury items. But this isn't just about one man's lavish lifestyle. This is about an alleged $8 million money laundering operation. About a tobacco war that's left over 150 businesses firebombed across Australia. About a criminal empire allegedly being directed from the Middle East by a deported kingpin. And about 2 brothers, Kazem and Maytham Hamad, who police say are at the centre of it all. First, we need to talk about the man police call Australia's tobacco king. Kazem Hamad, known as Kaz, he's become one of the nation's most powerful organised crime figures in just a few short years. For those who don't know, Kaz was deported from Australia to Iraq in mid-2023. Police allege that since his deportation, he's actually expanded his empire, building what they describe as a cartel to control Australia's multi-billion-dollar illicit tobacco market.
Kaz's voice, I'm going to give you a number, I'm going to need you to call this number tonight. Alright? You've got a piece of paper on you. Just call them, make sure you call them, because if you don't call them, they'll end up telling me. You know? Alright? I'll sort it out.
Despite being thousands of miles away in Iraq, authorities believe Kaz is still calling the shots. He allegedly uses a network of trusted lieutenants back in Australia, often relatives or long-term criminal associates, to run his operations remotely. The scale of violence linked to this tobacco war is staggering. Over the past year, more than 150 tobacco stores have been firebombed in Melbourne alone. Police believe many of these attacks are linked to Kaz's organisation. We're talking about shootings, extortions, arsons, serious, coordinated violence designed to control territory and eliminate competition in the illegal tobacco trade. A police intelligence report from 2024 specifically states that the Hamad syndicate is responsible for a significant number of serious offences, including arsons, extortions and shootings, all linked to the illicit tobacco trade, as well as the importation and distribution of illegal tobacco products. And if that wasn't disturbing enough, authorities also suspect Kaz may have been involved in the firebombing of the Addis Israel synagogue in Melbourne, allegedly to curry favour with the Iranian regime. This has taken the case from organised crime into potential international espionage territory. Now, let's talk about his younger brother, Maytham Hamad. According to police, he's been serving as a key player in the family's alleged criminal enterprise. Maytham moved to Perth, Western Australia in 2022. Notably, this was before his brother was deported. Police now believe this move was strategic, positioning him to expand the family's operations into a new market. While Maytham doesn't have the same notorious profile as his older brother, police paint a picture of someone living an extremely lavish lifestyle. We're talking luxury cars, including 2 Lamborghinis, designer fashion, and a home in Mount Pleasant, one of Perth's most expensive riverside suburbs. Detective Senior Sergeant Andy Baker from WA Police put it bluntly during a press conference. "I'm certainly not driving around in a Lamborghini and living a life of luxury, that's for sure. It seems fairly unfair to me that you've got good, hard-working members of the community doing it tough in a difficult economy, and there's this syndicate out there profiting from illicit tobacco, living a good life. That's just not on." So what exactly was Maytham allegedly doing? According to police, between February and September of this year, he was running what they describe as a commercial-scale, organised criminal enterprise, moving illicit tobacco profits across 3 states: Western Australia, Victoria and New South Wales. Here's how the alleged scheme worked. Police say Maytham oversaw a retail network of tobacco stores in the Perth suburbs of Armidale, Byford, High Wycombe and Medina. These stores were allegedly selling illicit tobacco on a cash-only basis, generating enormous sums of money. That cash then needed to be moved and laundered. Police allege the syndicate used nominee accounts, encrypted messaging apps, and postal deliveries to shift the money interstate. And the amounts are staggering. According to the allegations, between August and September alone, 45 parcels were sent from Western Australia to Victoria, Each parcel contained between $155,000 and $220,000 in cash. The total, $8 million. Police also intercepted 9 additional packages containing approximately $1.7 million during their investigation. This money, investigators believe, was being funneled back to Kazem Hamad in the Middle East, allowing him to continue directing operations from overseas despite his deportation. The investigation, dubbed Operation Charger, was a joint effort between Western Australia Police and Victoria Police's Lunar Taskforce, which specifically targets the illicit tobacco trade. What really kicks this investigation into high gear was a wave of violence that hit Perth between July and August of this year. In just 1 month, there were 11 incidents of arson, criminal damage and firearm attacks linked to the illicit tobacco trade. This was the Melbourne tobacco war spreading west. 2 tobacco businesses were set on fire in August, others were shot at. In one incident in October of last year, a man was allegedly caught on CCTV smashing into a tobacco store in Midland before setting it ablaze. Now, it's important to note that Maytham is not accused of direct involvement in these violent incidents. However, police say the pattern is clear. This violence is linked to competition and territorial disputes in the illicit tobacco market, the same market his family's alleged syndicate dominates. Western Australia's Police Commissioner, Col Blanche, publicly stated in August that he believed Kazem Hamad was trying to expand his monopoly of the illicit tobacco trade to WA. The firebombings and shootings were seen as part of this expansion strategy. WA police believe these violent incidents at Perth tobacco stores are linked to the alleged illicit tobacco operations being run by the Hamad organisation. On Tuesday night, November 19th, police made their move. Matham Hammad was arrested without incident as he left a gym in Perth. The next day, police executed a search warrant at his Mount Pleasant home. What they seized tells you everything about the alleged lifestyle this operation funded. 2 Lamborghinis, designer fashion items and over $1 million worth of luxury goods in total. Maytham was charged with knowingly dealing with proceeds of crime to the value of more than $1 million between February and September of this year. But here's the thing, this wasn't even his first run-in with the law. At the time of his latest arrest, Maytham was already on bail, facing 9 other charges from earlier in the year relating to dealing with proceeds of crime and possessing prohibited tobacco products. Those charges involved alleged offending in South Headland, Northam, Kalgoorlie and Perth. He appeared in Perth Magistrates Court on Wednesday and was remanded in custody. His lawyers are seeking to have parts of his bail hearing held behind closed doors, with prosecutors arguing that public testimony could compromise ongoing investigations. Police have made it clear they believe this is just the beginning. Detective Senior Sergeant Baker said more charges could potentially come from further investigations, and they're working on accessing encrypted communications devices seized from the syndicate. The scope of the investigation has been massive. Victoria Police have raided 18 properties across Victoria and South Australia, seizing 157,000 illegal cigarettes, 1,450 vapes, 66 kilograms of loose leaf tobacco, cash counting machines, 20 phones, and 2 cars worth $100,000. You might be wondering, why all this violence and police resources over tobacco? The illicit tobacco market in Australia is worth billions. With some of the highest tobacco taxes in the world, there's enormous profit in smuggling and selling untaxed cigarettes and tobacco products. But as Victoria Police Assistant Commissioner Martin O'Brien put it, we are never talking about just illicit tobacco. Irrespective of the commodity, police will continue to target organised crime, both locally and nationwide. These operations fund other criminal activities. The money laundering infrastructure used for tobacco can be used for drugs, weapons and other criminal enterprises. And as we've seen, the violence associated with controlling this market has been devastating. Firebombings, shootings, and in one tragic Melbourne case, a 27-year-old woman died when arsonists firebombed the wrong house. The arrest of Maytham Hamad represents a significant development in law enforcement's efforts to dismantle what they describe as one of Australia's most powerful organised crime syndicates. But with Kazem Hamad allegedly still directing operations from Iraq, and with violence continuing across multiple states, this tobacco war is far from over. Maytham is due back in court on December 1st for his bail application, with prosecutors pushing to keep key evidence from being heard publicly. Meanwhile, police say they're continuing to identify and target others involved in the alleged syndicate. This is a story we'll definitely be following as it develops. What do you think about this case? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more stories from the Australian underworld, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It really helps me out and helps the channel grow. Till next time, take care.